Hey everyone, this is Moneyflip, the weekly watch list for the week of February 29th. So the markets last week, especially on Friday, are still at the critical juncture, as I like to call it. We still haven't made that definitive break to the upside, and we still haven't come down yet. So we're kind of sitting in no man's land, or what I call a critical juncture. Now, you're going to see me use an ATR trailing stop in a lot of my charts here on out, something I've been working with for a couple of months on my own, and I really like it combined with the settings that I have on a MACD. Coming from a swing perspective, it actually works quite good. So you'll see most of my charts with an ATR trailing stop with the green and the red. Also with the 9 EMA, a 20 SMA, a 99 EMA, and a 200-day EMA. Okay. Sometimes I will take off the moving averages just to kind of clear the chart a little bit, because on the swing side, the 9 EMA lets me know whether I need to buy or if I need to sell. But anyway, you'll still be able to see what I'm showing. So here we are with the chart of SPY. You can see where SPY gapped up and then just sold off, and the markets were up quite high. Actually, I'm going to take this to a 5-minute. Sorry. So if I take that to a 15-minute, you can see where we gapped up right here and then just kind of faded off the rest of the day and closed down a few points. So as I had said Friday in the chat, I was watching the 194.50, and then I was watching 195, really 195.50, to see if it could get up there and stay above it, and then I would be long biased. But it looks like the market is still moving with oil. If oil spikes, the market spikes. If oil spikes down, seems like the market is spiking down. So I've said for a long time I'll be glad when that correlation is over, but for right now we have to deal with what the markets are giving us. So with that said, you can see where we sold off and came back down. So I'm watching this as a critical juncture. So tomorrow, I still want to see us stay above 194.50, but show me some conviction that we're about to run. Okay, get under that, back under that 194.50, 194 level. I'm leaning towards the bearish side. But here you have the ATR trailing stop, which when it crossed right there, it showed, let's take it to the long side, but my MACD is curling down and pointing down, so I'm waiting for the longer term MACD to push down as well. So anyway, catch me in chat and I'll be posting my levels for SPY, and we'll take it from there. With that said, I'm also going to show you how ES, something that was a little off to me, was that ES came up here. So yeah, this is today. Don't look at this candle right here, okay? Let's look at this red candle right here. This is Friday. I have the 24-hour chart on, so this is today, Sunday, when the futures opened up at 6 p.m. Eastern. ES closed down on its highs, okay? This candle right here, this is Friday. ES closed down on its lows. I'm sorry, I said highs. But if you look at the Russell, if I'm not mistaken, the Russell closed on its highs, okay? So the Russell closed, you know, up there quite a bit. So the Russell closed near its highs. So this is today, this is Friday, so I'm just looking at Friday. If I break that down to, say, a 15-minute chart, yeah, you can see where the Russell closed right there, near its highs, but still off a little bit, at 1035 something versus the 1040. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. It's just that the Russell looks like, if we're going to break up to the long side, the Russell should be the leader because it's been playing catch up with the rest of the markets. Now watch what I'm about to show you with the NASDAQ. Let me take this back and take this up. So I'm going to put this to a 15-minute chart. Okay, I'm going to remove the studies so you can see this even clearer. So I want you to pay attention to the NASDAQ. Okay, now once again, I'm doing this on Sunday night. The futures have already opened, so don't pay attention from this rollover line over. Okay, so this is sort of what we kind of call a ledge right here, where you have all the downtrended. We have all this consolidation right here. This is a 15-minute chart of Friday. I think this is, yeah, that was about 5 a.m. Friday morning. Okay, and the market opened, that's 8:30, 9 o'clock. So the market opened up about right here. So it already sold off some. So anyway, it just faded and then just consolidated for the second half of the day. So what I want you to look at is I drew a support line right here. Okay, now with this support line, I drew this next line right here and said, okay, if we break this, watch for 42.20 to hold. Well, the futures have already opened. 42.20 is held right here, but I'm not going to look at Sunday. Okay, so the 42.20 is holding for now. So that was pretty much like 10 points, well 5 points actually, because I had written in my notes 42.30. But either way, you break this level 42.20, and then it is possible that the NQ can come all the way down here to the 41.80 level, which is a lot of this. It's what we call the measure. Okay, so it could have that same distance. But anyway, I'll back out just a little bit, and you can see these levels. So see this range right here, okay? And these are where I have those levels. So I'm really watching the 42.20. 42.20 breaks. NQ can come on down here to 41.80. NQ has 50-60 points all day long. Okay, not uncommon for NQ to do 100, 120 points in a day. Okay, so watch the NASDAQ, the NQ. You break this little support level right here of the 42.20, then look for this thing to come on down. Okay, next stop would be maybe the 4200, which is a nice round number. After 42, I'm looking at 41.80. So 20 and 20. Okay, so that's my take on NQ. Most people know I play NQ some. I play YM. I don't really play ES. A lot of guys do. I just watch it. But I just like to play the NQ and YM, playing the Russell as well. So we'll see what tomorrow holds. With that said, we're going to go ahead and roll into a few stocks in no particular order. Some long setups, some short setups. The first one is Molina Healthcare. So here we are with Molina Healthcare. Now, as you can see, since its earnings right here, Molina has just ran all the way up, and it's pulling a little bit of consolidation right here. Okay, 1 second. So watch Molina hold the 62 level. Okay, Molina closes 62.66 on Friday. Okay, we got a little consolidation right here. If Molina pulls under 62, okay, right there. If it pulls under 62, I'm going to be short biased on Molina Healthcare, MOH. I've got the MACD pulling down. You may get a day or two swing, but this is one that needs to be watched with the market. I'll take this out to a 15-minute. Not seeing too much on the 15-minute. But like I said, 62.23, yeah. If you break Friday's high, that may show the real sign of weakness. I mean Friday's low, that may show the real sign of weakness. Okay, and the low on Friday was 62.24. So watch 62.24. If that breaks, maybe on the short side. I actually still like those more to the long side when they have this little bit of consolidation. So if we can get over Friday's high, I like this one to go and push, but watch it with the market. Friday's high was 63.61. Okay, so that's MOH. I still like it to the long side. If I were to swing it, but I'd wait for a little cooling off because you have your long-term MACD still pushing up. So you may just get it. It may pull on down below the 0 line and then cut back up. So that's Molina Healthcare. Next is CTRP. The thing about CTRP is that this one may not become a trade for the next day or two. Okay, you got this ATR trailing stop, which is at resistance. Okay, you also have the 200-day right here, which is pretty much support. So I'm gonna wait for CTRP to break out to the upside or to break down to the low side. Okay, this 9 EMA has crossed, but that's not a definitive cross because this area right here is so tight that it could go either way. You also need to watch this one with price line. It doesn't have earnings until late March, I believe. Yeah, which is the 17th. So you still got, you know, almost 3 weeks in this one. But anyway, watch this to get over 42.50. Okay, to show signs of wanting to break out. 42.50 and hold to get above it. Also need to put that in my notes. And watch it if it breaks under that 200-day, which means it needs to get under 40. Okay, so you got a little range right there. Set your alerts. Watch that one. Also kind of watch PCLN with it as well because it's going to follow. So if there's a big bloody day in the market and price line pulls, this one is more than likely going to pull with it. Okay, so that's CTRP. It's the Chinese price line, I like to call it. Here's one that we've had on watch is Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, this one, now you got your MACDs going up, you got the fast one, you got the slow right here going up. It's tagging resistance, that 200-day. Okay, so it's crucial. I need to see this thing get above the 200-day in a green market to keep on pushing higher. Right now it's sitting there as if, you know, it could come back down. Now some people may call that a hammer candle, but you do have a little bit of a wick, and I mean the wick touched that 200-day to a T. This one is probably going to be one of my go-tos if the market pulls tomorrow on Monday. If the market pulls and this one starts to pull with it, you may get a nice trade for 3 or 4 days out of this one. Me, I'd probably only swing it for 2 or 3 days, take my money and run because the market has been highly volatile, and you don't know where it's going to go. So anyway, that's my take on Dunkin'. Let me take this out to a 15-minute for a second. 15-minute doesn't really show me much. So anyway, back on the daily. Watch this one to see if it can get over that 200-day. Okay. If not, we go into a red market. This one may make a nice pullback for 2 or 3 days. So that's Dunkin' Donuts. Next, we have good old Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks has been supporting their stock with a buyback, along with a lot of other stocks. One other thing to note, Bloomberg did a report and said that 20% of the volume has been stock buybacks. So some of these stocks that have been being propped up is due to buybacks. So let's go ahead and have a look at Starbucks here. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see it better. Now this is a trend line that I had drawn before. Okay, I'm sorry, not trend line. A resistance line. Okay, Starbucks still can't seem to get over it. Okay, I had that one drawn a while back. Still above the 200-day, the 9 EMA, the 49. Okay, so it's still sitting there in what I call no man's land. Starbucks needs to get above the 59.50 mark or continue to pull on down. And if she starts to pull on down, I'm a little weary of the short here. I want to see that 200 break. Okay, if the 200 breaks, then you might get a nice trade for 2 or 3 days. But I mean, this range right here is just not enough for me. That's only what, a couple of bucks max. Okay, close at 58.34. The 200 is basically a dollar away. Okay, so I would need to see that break to see if I'm going to get short, or see this resistance line right here break, as well as the ATR stop. So that's one to follow with the market. I'd have to double check to see if their buyback has ended, but right now what makes it look more to the short risk is that this one is up above the zero line, curling back down, and this one is under the zero line. Okay, so when it's like that, I'm looking for it to continue more to the downside rather than to the upside. Okay, and this has been pretty much trending down, not heavily, but it's been trending down since these earnings back here that gave it an all-time high. So anyway, that is my take on Starbucks. Next is Under Armour. I'm a big time Under Armour fan. I had this one on watch earlier this week in one of the watch list videos. Okay, now I'm gonna blow this up. Okay, you can see I had this flag pattern drawn right here earlier in the week. I always like to leave my drawings on here. UA broke out of it. Now I like UA to the long side. My only issue is we've got this ATR stop right here, and we've got this 200-day moving average. Okay, if this one continues to push, now here's why I like it long. That's got a slight curve to come back to the upside, and the slow MACD is still above the zero line. So I like to combine indicators. But if you look what it did on Friday, it was still up, and I like that. So I actually like UA to the long side, especially in the green market. You can still get, you can still get about 4. Yeah, you could get about 4 points until it touches that 200. So it's at 83.81, and the 200 is at 87.79. So you still got 4 more points you can get out of Under Armour before it like actually bangs its head in resistance. So that's Under Armour. As long as we got market participation, I actually like Under Armour to the long side. Okay. Next is TJX. All right. The retail sector, which is XRT, I'll show you a flash of that one real quick, has been doing pretty darn good, surprisingly. All right. Yeah, it's faded off here. Retail sales were hit during the whole Christmas thing, but they found a bottom and have been doing quite well. Okay. So I think Macy's was doing okay. JCPenney did real good. So many of the retailers have been doing just fine, which is unexpected to me. But here's TJ Maxx. I had TJ Maxx on watch earlier, and I said watch this level right here, and it actually broke it. Had a good day on Friday. Okay. They also had their earnings. Was that Thursday? So the 26th to 24th, 20th. So they had earnings on Wednesday before the bell, and it's just been going up since. So you got over that resistance. Next stop for me is a new all-time high right there if it can continue to keep pushing. All right. So that's TJ Maxx. I like it to the long side. You may get a pullback to this 9 EMA with some market pulling. So just be careful. A lot of these charts, you have to watch them with the market to see which way to take your bias, because that's what I do. I will watch some of these, what I consider swing trades, to see, okay, if I got 10 stocks, I got 5 of them that could be short in a down market. It's just going to help it even better. Or I can be long these stocks in an up market. So watch these charts with the market. Some of them do their own thing, but the majority of these stocks will follow the market. That's TJ Maxx. The next one is CMG. Okay, I caught this one in chat on Thursday. He made a nice little fade that day, and then it faded even harder Friday. So I have a 505-500 spread. I got a pretty decent price on it. I tried to get out Friday when it dipped. Didn't get filled, so I'm still holding that one. So we'll see. I only need one more down day. If we get a down day, CMG can just keep on rolling. But it looks like it wanted to pull back, because what happened was, you can see I had this little flag pattern here drawn. Okay, so it was up here. This was your first red day. when I put it on watch, and I said if it breaks that level, then I want to get short. Well, it broke it, and I got short here. I tried to sell the vertical spreads that I had on it here, but I didn't get filled. It rallied a little bit, so I'll keep holding it, and hopefully I can get out of it tomorrow on Monday for a nice little profit. But that's one that was called in chat. It still looks like it wants to come down a little bit. Change this to a 78 minute. So you can see right here where it crossed that trailing stop, and that was one of the reasons I got into it, because I saw it cross that ATR trailing stop. And that across is when it changes like that, and you see the 9 EMA come under the 200. No, my 20. Okay, the 9 crossed the 20 on this chart, and that's when the ATR trailing stop changed, which signals a short. So as long as it can pull one more day, and I'll take my profits and run. Okay, so that's CMG. I'm still looking for that one to pull a little bit more and let me get out of it. Here's a chart that I really like long, and it's because all of the indicators are showing to the upside. This is Mosaic. Okay, Mosaic was decently liquid at 8 million shares traded on Friday, about a little bit over 4.5 on Thursday, so it seems to be pretty liquid. I got my squeeze firing. It's already fired long because we had all this consolidation right here. The 9 has crossed the 20, and it got above the ATR short right there, so now it's long. You can see the cross right there when it does that. That's called the ATR trailing stop cross. So, and then my MACD is pushing up too. So all my signals are there for a long. It was up $1.40, which was 5.5% on a $26 stock on a Friday when the market was down, a few points. So this is one that I really like long. I'm looking for a continuation. If it does pull back, I would look for it to maybe pull back to the 25.50 area, maybe kiss that 9 EMA, and then start back long again. But as you can see, this longer term EMA, MACD got above the 0 line. We got a hook back up. So all the indicators and signals are there. I really like Mosaic to the long side. So next is IBM. IBM called a couple of trades this week in chat that did real good. Got over 100% on IBM, 100% on KSU, which I'm still holding a spread on KSU, but the overnight trade got over 100% on it because the market pulled on Thursday, and then I added some more to it, but it kind of rallied on Friday, so I'm not up much on that one. But anyway, that's a longer term swing, so I've still got plenty of time. Here's the deal with IBM. IBM crashed into resistance right here. That's this moving average is a 99 EMA. You've got resistance right here. Okay, kind of consolidating a little bit, but it pulled good on Friday from being up on Thursday. I do have a butterfly on this one. Probably, I got what, almost 3 weeks? Yeah, I've got 3 weeks on the butterfly. The 135, 130, 125 put butterfly. So as this thing gets close to 130, that's when I will sell it. Sell my position and take my profits and go. I'm not gonna hold it the full ride and let it pin to 130. And try to get a pin for 130. I just find it at a good spot to buy and then sell when I have some decent profits. So that's IBM sitting up here, bumped into resistance on Friday and came on down. I'm looking for IBM to actually just continue its downtrend for the long term because it had a nice little stock buyback program going, shot up, kind of sat there and then pulled back. So hopefully I'll exit that butterfly sometime this week. So that's IBM, and it still has plenty of room for more downside action, especially if the market pulls. For me, IBM is just a stock that I know very well. when I see the market pull, IBM does what the market does almost, unless they're doing some darn stock buybacks, and then of course that's going against the grain, as I like to call it. So that's IBM. The next one is MET. MET is just like Mosaic, okay? Had an ATR stop crossover, okay? The 9 EMA is pushing, hasn't crossed the 20 yet, but it's pushing for a cross. If it's green tomorrow, you'll see the 9 EMA cross the 20. The short-term MACD cut is curling back up. The only negative is that this line is still under the 0, okay? So still watch it. It may have some momentum with the market, but this is one that if it can hold that basically 40, you know, if it holds 40 again, then I like it. I like it to the long. So that's MetLife Insurance Company. Watch this one more to the long side. Still has a short-term bearish trend, as you can see with the 20 moving average right here, just nice and smooth down. That's the red line. Bouncing along with the 9 EMA, but like I said, it looks like it may want to bounce a little bit more, but I actually like this one a little bit to the long side. So that's MET. Here's another one. This is TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade did the same thing as MET and Mosaic. You had an ATR cross, and I do scan for these, okay? You have the 9 EMA that crossed to 20, all right, right there. You got both of these, the fast and the slow MACD. Just the slow has crossed above the 0 line. The fast MACD cut up again, okay? It's hooking up. Those are all the signals that I look for to get long in a trade. If this one does pull back, I'd be looking for 28, 39, at least 28 minimum to hold to see this thing to like push higher, okay? The only little thing that I didn't like was that it touched the 49 and then pulled back, but you've already got an ATR cross. Sometimes you do get a fake out, sort of like you got right here. See how it crossed, and then it crossed right back again, okay? So when it when the ATR does that, then that's your signal to go the other way. So sometimes you do get these little fake outs, just like here. I don't mess with them when they're like that. I like to see big moves in the chart, like right here. I wouldn't touch it right here. If anything, I'd sell a credit spread or some neutral position just to collect the time decay. But I like them when the charts have done this and they're making moves. So I'm looking for this one to regain some of its mojo and continue to push higher. So in a green market, I actually like TD Ameritrade to push higher. So that's my take on TD Ameritrade. Here's a good short trade idea. The market pulls tomorrow. I really like this one. I really like this one, even if it's only just for the day, to make it a day trade. And I'll show you why. So on Friday, you got an ATR cross back to the low side, back to the downside. It broke this level. It broke this level of support. So you had an ATR long side support level right there. It broke it on Friday. Basically, it kissed that that 20 and came back down. Now you do have the 200 right here, but the 200 is about $2 away, which for a day trade it would be great. The TTM squeeze, which shows like whether it's going to break to the upside or to the downside, has already shown to the downside. We've got the slow MACD about to cross under the 0 line, and the fast MACD is already under it. So I'll zoom back out just so you can get a better picture of this. And now you can see what I'm talking about. You've got a fire to the short side. You've got these, one under the 0, one about to cross under the 0. It's sitting on that 49, but I'm looking for that to break. Okay, I'm looking for continuation on this one. So this one might be a good 1 or 2 day trade. But like I said, if you were to get short that one, watch that 200 day to hold or maybe bounce. But I think that would be a good day trade just to the short side for 1 day. So anyway, that's Duke Energy. Next is MCHP, Microchip Technology Incorporated. I guess the name will tell you what sector they're in. This is one I like to the long side. Simple fact, the TTM squeeze fired to the upside right here. Okay. MACD hooked up. The slow MACD getting ready to cut above the zero line. Here's the other thing right here. There's your 200. Has to get over to 200 for me. You had an ATR cross right here. Good signal. So all the signals are there for a long. Okay. Watch it with the market. If this one goes green, gets over that 200, I like this one to give me a couple more days to the upside. Okay. So that is MCHP. Next chart I have up is my good old buddy Facebook. Most people who know me know I like playing Facebook and SPY. So a little indecision going on here with Facebook. I took off a lot of the fib work. What I mainly want you to do is look at this channel right here. You've got this channel that is rising. Alright. And that's also one of the fib retracement lines right there. So the ATR stop has always been, since this day right here, has been to the downside. And I mean, I just use that as an indicator, but I also like the patterns, and patterns trump everything. Okay, I could care less what the indicators say. Patterns trump everything. And right now, you got a rising little channel here, and so I'm watching for Facebook to maybe bust its head up against this fib line right here, which, if you look, it coincides pretty much with that upper trend line. So I'd be looking for Facebook to try to come up here or come back down. In the case of a day trade or just a scalp trade, I'm watching the 107. Hold on. Oh, I'm watching the 107.50 level. 107.50 because I like these whole and half numbers. Facebook get under the 107.50. That's going to show me some weakness. I'd look for the 107.50 as a signal for the short. Okay. If the market runs green, I'll be watching Facebook to the short side. I mean to the long side, sorry. But for now, let me check one thing. Now, if you take Facebook and you put it on a 15-minute, the MACD is curling back down. Had a lot of high volume towards the end of the day right there. And it seems like it can't get out of this range. And that's 107.30. That looks like that's going to be the key level. Need to see Facebook break its lower day from Friday. If it breaks its lower day, which was 107.16, that's why I said I'm looking at Facebook for the 107.50 to show me signs of weakness. Then I'm going to check it and see how it does from there, especially if it gets under the 107.16. If it breaks the lower day from Friday, then I'm looking to get short that. Could come on down here to about the 106 level. Could get $1 out of it. That'd make a nice little scalp trade. So anyway, that's my take on Facebook. Last but not least is McDonald's. I like what the company has done since they changed CEOs. The current CEO seems to have done much better. McDonald's took off. I think they beat earnings right here. Yeah, they beat earnings right there. Rolled on up. Beat earnings again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, don't know what the guidance was, so that makes a big difference. I mean, TOS will show you if they beat or missed, but it doesn't show you all the real factors that I call it. Long term, I like McDonald's to keep on climbing, but right now, McDonald's is looking a little bit weak because here's what you have. Let me remove these studies. Show you what I'm looking at. I hate when this happens. So you have this big down move right here. And then you kind of have this. And you can call that, I don't call that a flag. because this one came down too far. So anyway, it's in this consolidation range. But when you go back and you put the indicators back on it, the 9 EMA crossed under the 20, okay, which is a short signal, okay, and I even have the like crossover signal there, arrow, and that's an indicator where you can get an arrow for where it crosses. I don't pay too much attention to it, but it'll help me to spot it a little bit easier. The 20's curling down. The MACD is under this 0 line, and the other one as well. Granted, it's hooked up a little bit, so I'm watching McDonald's to see if it shows me some more weakness. If McDonald's continues to pull, and my indicators look more like to the short side, then I'm gonna get short McDonald's. But right now, it's just, it hasn't really given me a decision on what it wants to do. Okay, but I do feel like if the market, it could go either way. Market could pop red and McDonald's might just decide to take off. Also have to be wary of upgrades and stuff like that. So that's McDonald's. I'm really watching this one to see if it breaks under this level with the market or if it breaks up with the market. So with that said, we're still at an indecision point in the market. It's a critical juncture. The markets need to tell us whether they're going up or whether it's going back down. Right now, it's about close to 9 p.m. and the futures are pretty much flat. Crude oil is up about 20-30 cents right now. So we'll see how the overnight session goes. Reach out to me if you need any help with any of these charts. These are just nice swing trade ideas. Swing trade can be, you know, one day, could be 2 to 3 weeks. So I like to swing short term, not really holding anything long term at the moment. So winners this week were IBM, KSU, CMG I'm still holding. I still have some more of IBM and I still have some more of KSU, but I did call a couple trades in chat that those worked out quite well. So keep your eye on this watch list. Always set your alerts. Good luck. Happy trading. See you in chat. Peace.